Okay. So in the module 2, we are discussing uh, we are discussing how to start a project. And as I said, in module 1, we learned why we do a project. And in module 2, we will learn the best way how we can start a project. And in the first lecture, what we talked about is the identifying our stakeholders and how we can engage with them throughout the project. Stakeholders are those people who have a stake in our project. It can be positive, it can be negative. They can be internal, they can be external, they can have an influence on the project, and project can influence them as well. How a project manager can identify stakeholders? He can identify through documentation review, such as he can go through the RFP, he can go through the business case document, benefits management plan as a documentation review. How we can, other than documentation review, how we can identify stakeholders is that um, we can we can review, we can ask questions, we can do surveys. Now, it's not only important to identify them; it's important to assess them. That what is their position in the organization and what is their role in the project and how much interested they are in the project. So in order to assess stakeholders, we also do the questionnaire surveys. And why it is really important that we should not miss any stakeholder is because stakeholders are the people who will give us the requirements or their expectations from the project. So it's really important to know the expectations from the stakeholders, that what they want from the project. And if luckily uh, if they are interested in the project and they have got the power, so we will derive their influence and we will leverage on their influence to push or to drive our project. So we learned a couple of ways how we can, after assessing the stakeholders, we can categorize the stakeholders as powerful stakeholders, influential stakeholders, interested stakeholders, and we learned about 2D grids, 3D grids. And in the 2D grid, we saw that how we can categorize them into power or interest or power or influence or impact or influence. And in the 3D grid, we talked about one more factor, which is the attitude. That what is the attitude of the stakeholder towards the project? And we also talked about Salience model. And in Salience model, we focus on the three things in order to categorize stakeholders, that they may be having some urgency, some legitimacy, as well as power. So we can categorize stakeholders in three circles, and they may fall individually into urgency circle, power circle, or legitimate circle, or there may be they may fall into the intersection of these circles. The most important stakeholders which have all three characteristics. They are they have urgency, they have power, and they have legitimacy. And we learned about C matrix, that in order to identify the current engagement level and the desired engagement level, we plot the stakeholders in a matrix. And one by one, we assess each stakeholder towards the project. Is it resistant? Is it pro project? Is it supportive, leading, neutral? And based on where they are and where we want them to see, we develop our engagement strategy. From the exam point of view, these topics are very important, and we'll spend quite some time learning this in the last class. Now, for the topic for today is the forming the team. So as I said, the projects are not done by individual people or maybe one person. Projects are done by a team of people, right? It has a big scope, larger than one person. Now, when you are leading a team on a project, the team will be moving from various stages uh, throughout the project. So when they give you a team or resources, it is just a group of people. And as a leader, you should provide them the direction. Everyone in the team, when they join you, they don't have the clear understanding why they are here in this team, why this project is being done. So again, the why part, which you worked really hard to understand, you need to explain now. Share that understanding with your team. So they should have, everyone should have the shared understanding about the objectives that we are trying to achieve. So, so the project manager uh, identifies what are the resources needed for this kind of project. Because by now, project manager knows that what kind of project they are doing and the scope, at least they have an idea about the scope required to be achieved so they can estimate the type of resources needed. Now, the resources could be available within the organization or they may have to look outside the organization. But no matter you brought in the resources from outside or you brought in the resources from inside, the team dynamics remain the same. When the new people joins your team, they need to be briefed what is the problem, how uh, we can make it successful, what is the individual contribution from each team member. So imagine yourself joining a team and you are an excellent craftsman, whatever skill set that you may have. But still, you will have this question that what is this project about and where we are heading, when we need to finish, what my role is. So all these questions are there within the team members who joins your team. So now this is the current status that you will find that everyone has like is lost. Like there is a chaos that we need the direction. We need the project manager to actually show us the path that what is the bigger vision, what is the bigger objective, where we are heading, and how individually each one of us will contribute towards achieving this bigger objective. So um, yeah, it will be hard task in the beginning, but this is the role that the project manager has to play. That within no time or with some time, he has to develop this understanding by uh, by group exercises, by collaborating with them, understanding the vision, objectives, deliverables, scope of work, so that everyone can be can be also aware of the project objectives. Yeah, but as I said, that projects are done by team, not individual people. So we have to always promote the culture of collaboration. Uh, it does not mean that individually we will not be responsible for our work. Yes, we will be accountable and responsible for our work, but the full work is the responsibility of everyone. So that's the shared ownership that we want to inculcate in our team members. So ideally, traditionally, traditional projects used to have very structured approach of resourcing for a project where all the requirements are identified and in the resource management plan, and resources are onboarded according to the plan when and where they are needed. Now, when we have variable scope, when we do not have a fixed scope, we cannot commit the resources for the duration of the project. So we will have dynamic allocation of the resources. For example, if we are doing hybrid um, or agile projects. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Now, um, as Bruce Tuckman was a psychologist who gave us who defined for us the stages of team development. And he defined it in 5 stages, starting with forming, storming, then norming, then performing, and then adjourning. So he said that any team that we may see, we may foresee, we may form, will pass through these stages of development. So when you form a team, initially at the beginning, you are just in the forming stage. So now in the forming stage, there are some characteristics of this team that people will lack the direction. So what, as a project manager, you have to give them is the direction. So your major role in the forming stage could be that you will be giving the directions and assigning the roles and responsibilities so that everyone knows what they have to do and what they have to achieve. So second stage that we have in the Bruce Tuckman model, if it is here or no, I think it is not here, but yeah, I will be explaining you. The second stage is the storming stage. So let me also start to maybe mention here. Here. So as I mentioned, first stage is the forming stage to which any team will pass through. So if they cross this stage, they will move to the storming stage. And storming stage is when everyone will show muscles, like everyone will question the authority. Who is this project manager? Who made him the project manager? These type of questions. And everyone will show that what he is, what she is, what they have got. So it's all about individualism. Team is not really a team. They are a bunch of individuals still. And what the role of the project manager in this stage should be, that he has to resolve the conflicts and he has to promote the collaboration so that the team should gel in. So how it can be achieved, uh, it's important when you form a team, you do some exercises group exercises like team lunch or some healthy activities that are done as a team so that the team get to know each other very well. So the early you do these group exercises, the more the chemistry you will see between the team, that they will work together and they will collaborate. Makes sense, right? So, but the characteristics of the storming phase is that you will see conflicts, right? So now the third stage, if luckily the team survived and it survived, so it will move to the stage which is called as norming. So norming is normalizing. Now the team will look like a team. They will support each other, kind of complement each other. Uh, it is no more an individual goal that is in front of them. It will be the group goal. So we call it like there is no more rifts in the team and the team is kind of normalizing. So if you are lucky and you passed normalizing stage, then it means that you actually managed to achieve a performing stage. So Now, in performing stage, you will find team go extra mile to achieve the organizational or project objectives. And here, if someone is sick, let's say not able to perform his job, the other person will hold his hand and help them. So it is just like uh, it is really rare to see a performing team, but 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 it is very lucky to be part of a performing team where you will see everyone is really helping and complementing each other. Now, Bruce Tuckman also said that the teams disintegrate after the projects finish, right? So just like project has a start and end, so as the teams have to leave apart. So he mentioned the last stage as adjourning, and he said that it is where you will celebrate along with the team the success, and you will hold the success party, something to cheer about, that we all achieved something together. And let's appreciate, let's give big round of applause for everyone. And we appreciate the notable performances as well. And we celebrate as a team, and then we say goodbye to each other. We will see each other in the next project. Make sense, guys? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now, if you ask me what is the characteristics of a forming team, I would say they are lost and they need direction, right? So the project manager has to provide them the direction. What is the characteristics of storming stage? They will fight. There will be conflict, and project manager has to Okay, so if you ask me what will be the characteristic for normalizing stage, normalizing mean that normal, like yeah, it's okay. We agreed that we have differences, but we decided to move on with those differences. So we agree on the agreements and we agree on the disagreements, that we do have some disagreements, but for the project's sake, we are not bringing those disagreements. Okay. So what will be the role of the PM? It would be that he should keep the harmony uh, within the team. And what is the characteristics of performing team? They are complementing each other. In case someone is not there, the other people will complement them, and they will not let anyone come down. Uh, it's uh, it's 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 the team goal which is important, not the individual goal. And actually, when the team normalizes, it reaches to this stage that they no more talk about individual goals. They talk about team goals, like team goals. Okay, but here, when there is a fight, there is a conflict, it's all about individual goals, not the team goals. So individual to team goal mean that you reach to the normalizing stage. So what was the first one? First one was this, forming. Second one was storming. Third one was norming, and so on. Fourth one was uh, uh, performing, and fifth stage is adjourning, where we say goodbye and we celebrate, cheers, and we celebrate and we say goodbye to each other. And if we are going to work next time, so we celebrate the goods and the uh, good work done by the team members. Okay, so I hope you guys understood. This is important from the exam perspective. From these dynamics, you will see some questions as well uh, for the exam. Any question so far?
No question so far.
All right, let's move on. So Uh, remember, in agile projects, we always emphasize that it's always a shared goal. It's not an individual goal. and the scope of work that we agree on is agreed as a group. So, so we organize ourselves. Each one of us will come on the table and take the work uh, that we can do, he or she can do from the team backlog. So, but the team backlog is the responsibility of every one of us. It's not single person responsibility. So we say that we do not dictate the work like the traditional project manager used to do in agile. Uh, in in hybrid or agile projects, let it we leave it on team to self-organize around the work. So, but we make sure that we form a team which has cross-functional team members. So, if the team has cross-functional team members, actually they will have different varying level of knowledge and the skills, which will actually be good to drive the project forward with the different perspectives. So, we form a cross-functional team, and then we say the team is self-motivated and self-organizing. So, which means that they have their own will to move forward. They don't need to be micromanaged, and the leader, that the project manager or the scrum master, the role they play is of a servant leader. So what they will do, they will serve their team. So how they will serve their team? They will serve their team by helping them in various activities which are which will set them for success. Like take all those tedious activities from the team that are taking time of a team. So you being a leader, you will book the meetings. Let's say you will help them uh, you will coach them to resolve their issues. You will help them with the knowledge and the skills needed to resolve to get the job done faster, right? In the end, you are holding their hand and teaching them, but not getting the job done for them. You need to you in order to let your team rise, you need to let them handle the issues, but you need to be behind them, guiding them how to handle those issues. So that's your role of a leader, that you show them how it can be done, so that in and they learn from you and they do it themselves. So don't believe, don't always assume that servant leader mean that the leader will take up all the tasks and will do, and the team will be doing nothing. If you are, let's take an example. If you are struggling with your laptop or computer at work, it's okay that your scrum master will help you to get to know who in the organization can help you set up you know this PC or then solve the network issue. But it is you who will approach that person and then get your problem solved. So being a leader, it means that I know how it can be solved and I will guide you how it can be solved. But you have to go yourself. You understood the the role of a guide and role of a coach, rather than doing it for the team.
Mm.
So that's the distinction I wanted to make for the scrum masters and the coaches role, that they show how it can be done, not uh, they do it for you. Okay, so so as I said, the traditional project managers, their role is changing. In the agile, we see more and more control given to the team. So it means that we are moving towards decentralized leadership style from the centralized leadership style. And the centralized leadership style is that everything happens through me. Like everything happens to me. I should be the approving everything. And then what happens is that I become the bottleneck. In most of the cases, I become the bottleneck because I feel that I'm the superwoman who has the who is the all knower and who has all the skills. And what happens is that I have my shortcomings. So being a leader, if I keep control with me, it will one day I will become a bottleneck for everything, right? So that's the problem we are trying to solve through agile leadership, that we give back control and empowerment to the team and we say, take local decisions. If you face any problem, come back to us, right? You got this concept of decentralized leadership?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So you are no more a kid that need to be told what to do.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. And then uh, then consider that if you are a traditional organization and you recently moved or you are adopting the agile, so you will not be agile on the day one, so you will pass through a hybrid stage where traditional centralized leadership will be there and mindset takes time to become decentralized, and it will be a passage or a phase where you will pass through hybrid model where both practices will be in working together at the same time, that you will see centralized and decentralized, agile and hybrid and traditional. So you will see that we are in a transition, so we will see some practices of the old traditional method of management will be going on, and some empowerment and self-organizing will be introduced gradually. Makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So as I said, that when we need to compose a team for such kind of projects which have variable scope and we have a learning curve. So what we do that we bring together cross-functional team members who have different skill sets, so they complement each other, and they solve this puzzle because they see different aspects of the puzzle, right? So if you find single skill set and you bring them together, what will happen? One person is a copy of another person, so they will look at the problem in unidirectional way. So there will be no outside the box thinking, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So what we encourage, so we have talked about cross-functional team members, which means that some people from finance, some people from marketing background, some people from engineering background, some people from product background, operations background. We bring them together to do the project. Okay. So this is cross-functional, but we have two more concepts called as T-shaped and the uh, generalist. So, so let's say we emphasize the role of generalizing specialists. So, what does it mean? That these people are like general doctor, which can solve any problem, right? You go to the general doctor, and general doctor will look into your eyes, ears, any problem that you may have, right? But you go to a specialist if you have special problem, right? If you have heart, God forbid, if you have kidney problem, heart problem, or whatever problem. So you goes to the specialist. So generalizing specialists mean that these people, although they have cross-functional knowledge and the skills, but they are specialists in one of the skill.
Mm.
Yeah. So it will be generalizing. Generalist is actually jack of all trades, master of none, right? Generalist. You can compare
Mm.
generalist as jack
Yes,
of all trades, master of none, right? But generalizing specialist
yes.
would be jack of all trades, but master of one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm? Okay. Okay. Any question? Okay. So in your projects, you will also be consulting various other subject matter experts, consultants in your organization, project management officers, any functional managers. So those could be the members from these functions could be members of your project team as well. So these are the support functions, but you need them. You need them. You need PMO for escalation, and Valerie is sleepy. Valerie will wake up and will practice questions. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I talked about cross-functional team members, generalizing specialists, T-shaped people. Just remember, generalizing specialists mean that they are generalists, but they have willingness to learn vertical, any vertical, any vertical. But the difference between generalizing specialist and T-shaped is that T-shaped is actually skilled in one or many of the skills. I mean, they have cross-functional knowledge, but they are actually skilled and specialists in one of those fields. But generalizing specialists have tendency to learn anything. Got it?
Good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So you can also see here that um, this bringing people of varying skill set actually brings some depth to the team, right? Width and depth concept that okay, we have a lot of width and we have a lot of depth to resolve the problems. And one more aspect that we should also have in our team is the diversity. You know, the people from various faiths, various nationalities, various origins, various regions, um, various sexology. So what will happen that we will have various, good diversity means that we will have different perspectives and different point of views, and it will create a great environment when you have various peoples working together. So diversity, it just not means that it is based on gender or based on nationality or color, but diversity means that we will allow people to have the work-life balance, the paternity leave, the maternity leave. So we give the gender-specific uh, cushion. You know, if it is religion, we give some room to practice that. If it is some faith, if it is some gender-specific problem that person may have, so we give some flexibility. You know, so that means that we are inclusive and we are providing equal opportunities for uh, different people. So in your teams, so because we are talking about team, right? And we talked about various stages of team, we talked about different skill set of team, and then we talked about diversity, and we talked about that you have support functions. So you have also experts in the organization, which can be the other project managers. You can consult when you need to form a team. You can consult the historical information from the previous projects as well, right? And you may ask other stakeholders and the subject matter experts that what kind of skill set you may need as per the scope of work that you have at hand. So now when you have a team, it's not done. It's a long, lengthy exercise to assess your team's skills, strengths, identify weak areas, and prepare some training plans on those weak areas where they need some uh, where they need some to put some effort or learn something or acquire new knowledge, right? So training need assessments are important. So SWOT analysis is a technique which we use to identify our team strengths, weaknesses, and what are the threats that we may have, and what are the opportunities that we may have by having this great team with us. So, it's when we form a team, it's really important that we set the ground rules, right? The team norms that we encourage diversity, we respect the time. We set up some rules that we meet every day. We start the day at this time, we end the day at this time. So all these ground rules make us accountable, right, to each other. Like we will prepare for our meetings. If there are actions, we will be preparing the updates before the meeting, and then we are ready with the updates during the meeting. So all people will join on time, and so all these ground rules actually make a lot of sense, right? Yeah, and if there is a conflict, then we should have some written procedure that how it can be escalated, how it can be resolved within the team level. If it cannot be resolved within the team level, then where it should be taken up. So we also need to have some decision making guidelines that okay, if the decision need to be taken, what are the type of decision makings that we may utilize, right? Uh, we may have consultation, we may have voting. So what are the techniques we will use for the decision making? Uh, Being the project managers, we should adhere to the PMI code of ethics and values. And there are four values which are very dear, which should be very dear to us, such as we should be taking the responsibility of the people that we are leading, as well as the work that we are committing. And in our dealings, in our uh, we should be transparent and fair. We should not always forget that fairness should like fairness should be uh, the principle or the rule that we should adopt. That we should be fair. We should be treating everyone with fair, and we should do the decisions which has the fair outcome. And always we should promote, value the honesty, that being an honest person, we should also be honest, and we should expect honesty from the team members as well, and respect that anyone who work with you should be respectful for your time, their time, your health, your everything. So the respect is uh, important, that it should be very dear to each one of us. Now, I talked about two things, team rules. So these are actually two different uh, part of the same document. So we have a team charter, and part of team charter is the ground rules. So team charter has mostly the roles and responsibilities and what this team has to deliver, kind of the project charter and the goals and objectives. But when it comes to the ground rules, it is more specific to the day-to-day rules of the team, like where to look after. I mean, and what time we meet, what time we exit, what are the meeting norms. As I described that, what will be the conflict management process, what will be the decision-making process. So team charter is a bigger document. It has roles and responsibilities, but one part of the team charter is the ground rules, which talks about more specifically the decision making, the conflict management, as well as our rules that we can keep each one accountable for. So you can see here, as I was mentioning, that team charter is the bigger document, and one part of the team charter is the team ground rules, right? So, team charter is like a project charter. It has uh, everything, like what is the duration of this, like this team is formed for this duration, and they have an objective, which is the objective of the project, and they need to deliver these deliverables. So it's more like a project charter. So what are the milestones, and when each milestone need to be delivered, and who are the team members, and then what are the roles and responsibilities of the project manager, and what are the roles and responsibilities of the people hired to the project manager, like sponsors and each team member, even the role and responsibility of the team members as well. So team charter has role and responsibilities. It has the objectives of the team, milestones, but part of it is a ground rule document, which is that what time we start the day, what time we close the day, and what are the conflict management, and what are the values, like we respect everyone's opinion, and what are the meeting timings, and what are the meeting rules, and as I said, that decision rules and also. But remember, there will be a question from the team charter and the ground rules. So remember, this is an important topic. Okay. Okay, Valeri,
Okay.
you got it.
Valerie is there. He cannot speak. He just come right on.
It's okay. So, Abel, you have any question?
I have if you want to say something, I will always unmute. My background is a little bit noisy. That's why.
Okay. Now, yeah. So actually, we should stop here, take a break, and come back to practice some questions, because we already covered a lot from 22 slide to 42 slide. What do you think, guys?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you will come back for the practice questions?
Yes, sure.
Okay, then 15 minutes, okay?